is larger than before because the evidence that we brought in 2020 recount, it is out again. And the PPP Civic is at it again. They are a bunch of fraudsters, and the Ghana Police Force needs to act.
Is the party calling for biometrics along with other reputable documents to verify proper voting procedures in this country?
And you see, it is not strange to us that the PPP is objecting to biometrics. If you claim that you won an election, if you claim that you could win any election, then you should have no difficulty or challenges with a list being cleansed and those biometric features being added so that it eliminates any opportunity for voter impersonation. Why wouldn't you want that? And that in itself is telling, because the PPP benefits from a bloated voters list that we currently have, and they will benefit by not having biometrics at the place of vote.
So biometrics are no elections.
Sorry?
Biometrics are no elections.
But you see, that is the challenge that you have. Although this has been brought to the attention of the Ghana Elections Commission, you have the chairman of the Elections Commission who continuously voting on the side of the PPP. So you can't get those rules and regulation being made law. So by virtue of the fact, you have to go into an election with those regulations that you would want in place not being in place. Because not going to an election, you run the risk of losing your constituencies. You run the risk of losing municipalities in which you have hundreds of thousands of supporters. Like, for example, Georgetown, Linden, Bartica, New Amsterdam, just to name a few. So you can't just abandon your base and go to and not go to the election. You have to contest. But we will continue to make these calls for biometrics, for a clean voters list, and for the ABCE countries to act, because they too have a role to play. Because elections are serious things in any country. And if you watch and see the results of elections that have gone awry in many other jurisdictions, it leads to bloodshed and violence on the street. And this is what you have to put measures in place to avoid arriving to any situation of that sort.
Christopher Jones there, Chief Whip and Member of Parliament. Christopher Jones, thank you very much. Right, so here what's happening. The crowd is increasing. The chants are boisting up. And we are going to see much more taking place in this country. We have Cathy Hughes. Cathy?
Revelations in the last couple of days, which shows that the system is not working. And we talk about democracy, but you can't have democracy if the fundamental right to cast a vote is not honored. In the last couple of days, we've heard of incidences of fraud, once again, which we know took place in the 2020 election. And we know that the vice president did what was the right thing, apologize. But it can't stop there. Individuals in the past have been brought to the courts for fraud. Anybody that illegally signed for somebody's name and is on a list, we cannot accept any apologies. We expect to see GCOM take individuals to the courts. I am here because I think it's totally unacceptable that GCOM has not up to now said anything about how they plan to remedy this situation. We are asking for trouble. If the same problems we had in 2020 exist today, GCOM has not looked at their internal systems and has not improved them. And that's why we're saying fraud is fraud and it must be dealt with that way. And also that we will not accept the nonsense we're seeing today. GCOM have to do something about it. They have to come to the people again and tell us what they're doing to fix this situation before local government elections. Thank you.
Honorable Cathy, the Honorable Board of Directors, the Minister of Government, in my opinion, that is. Oh, you, huh? Oh, she each of the
she's in good. All right. So here they are. Sounding their voices. we have Shadow Minister of Legal Affairs, Royce Delford, on the line, on the picket line this afternoon. Mr. MP, a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff happening. How are you going to be dealing with these matters legally for these elections? Fraud, impersonation.
Well, Andrew, what is actually happening here is another form of the protest. The court proceedings that we have instituted is form of the protest. The court proceedings that we have been filed are premised
Come on, waiting. Yes.
the court proceedings that we filed so far based on the elections petition of the elections of 2020 are largely based on the fraudulent activities of the government and the fraud that has been permitted and encouraged by GCOM. The country has to understand that most and almost every single problem in relation to the elections and any elections in this country stands and falls at the feet of Claudette Singh. The Electoral Commission, as is currently constituted, consists of 7 persons. She votes consistently on every occasion on material matters, always with the PPP. In the context of that commission, any decision is basically comes down to the decision of the chairman of Claudette Singh. So when we have the situation of the failure to have a proper recount and then the recount results properly processed, it is Claudette's decision to do so. The failure to have a proper report on any investigation of the March 2020 elections, it was voted down principally by Claudette Singh. The failure to have any proper review and what is likely to happen at this upcoming local government elections is Claudette Singh. The fact that the nominations continue to come in and the fraud continue to be exposed throughout the length and breadth of this country is the failure of Claudette Singh to put in place measures to deal and address these situations. The failure to put in place biometrics as a method of resolving this issue is Claudette Singh. The failure to put in place any other mechanism, including a house-to-house registration process, a verification process of the list, is Claudette Singh. The failure to ensure that the electoral list is in accordance with the law, in which I had to go to court to file legal proceedings to force them to comply with the list in accordance with the law, is Claudette Singh. So the future of this country and the failure of democracy is not just the PPP alone. The greatest threat to this country and to the freedoms of this people right now is Claudette Singh. And that is the emphasis that we should be focused on, and it's time that Claudette Singh resign and go home.
But MP, I mean, that is good. We know that these are the problems, but the folks are wanting to know what's next, what the next step would be to stop these elections with all the fraud, uncovered.
I'm not going to telegraph our shots publicly, but I want the public to know that every conceivable measure will be pursued and adopted by.
Thank you. Mr. Norton, good day, sir.
First of all, I believe the local government elections is in jeopardy. There has been widespread forgery. If the GCOM is to take the required action, first of all, a lot of the candidates to the PPP will have to be nullified because they are supported by fraud signatures, and that in itself is a problem, apart from the fact that it's a crime. So I think the local government elections, I cannot see how GCOM will go ahead with an election in which across the country, the People's Progressive Party has forged the signature. I got information from Linden today that signatures are forged. Pleasance signatures are forged. Region 5, it is widespread.
And then they'll lose it now as well.
Yes. As we continue. And in addition to that, let me tell you what they're doing in Wakenham, in Rose Hall. They went to people and forcing them to come off the list, supporting the APN. So clearly the PPP is establishing themselves as the true leaders of the nation. The PPP not have the support it claims to have. If it had the support, why then would it be forging signatures? If they had the support, why then would Jagdeo have to apologize for the death signing? Why is it people who should have thumbprints signed? It is evident that the PDP is in trouble. Now it is compounded by the fact that the Elections Commission has been compromised. The CEO is not qualified for the job. The deputy is not qualified for the job. What that suggests is that they are putting political people in place to be able to be involved in the normal skullduggery. So I dispatched a letter to the Commissioner of Police this morning saying to him, we need to provide him with the evidence that we have accumulated that people forged signatures, and therefore we expect the police commissioner to act. But knowing that the police force is politicized, we will have to take other actions because they are not likely to enforce the law. If they were enforced with the law, that they would have been reported since the allegations of bribery and corruption. So what we have is a circle of illegality. And when you look at some of the people put on the list, many of them have had conflict with the law. Many of them are under the PPP banner for protection. Recently, you saw the situation with the permanent secretary.
Yeah.
Now, if this government was a decent government, they would have issued a proper statement, and I believe the PS should not go back to work unless it is clear to all that she has no clashes with the law. But I saw the Minister of Home Affairs is saying she's going back. Again, it is a manifestation of the fact that the PPP is a corrupt institution. They know nothing about the law. They have no interest in decency. Their only interest is domination and control. And what we see here is that she has embarrassed them. And when you embarrass Diana, they must be paying for it. Then I turn to Claudette Singh.
Oh, yes.
Claudette Singh has become a tool of the People's Progressive Party, and she can no longer claim to hold credible elections. If you have before you a number of people who have signatures, and up until now, she cannot say, well, these are disqualified, these are disqualified. It means that the entire system is compromised. And so we will have to relook the situation and do everything to ensure that there are no local government elections. Because if we rig it before it starts, imagine what we will do in the process. So I believe that we have a situation which we have to deal with, and we have to take on this.
Thank you, Commander.
When the First Minister is kind of silent with PS situation, do you think there's a cover of something?
Well, there's always the PPP is a criminal cabal, and criminals protect criminals. I saw in the Linden people who purport to support the PPP, one known drug reporting, another one who is I wanted to the thing was issued. Then they got one who claims to be a promoter who has historical links to the underworld, and in fact many people in the Yemen be responsible for the death of a friend in Holland. So the cabal you're talking about is a cabal that is steeped in illegality, and therefore they have no interest in the rule of law. They have no interest in decency. In fact, if they had, when they came to power in 2020, the CID regenerated, reinvigorated. You had people who are solving crimes. They removed all the people that are solving crime and put back the same corrupt people that historically ensured the crimes weren't solved. And then you have a police commission that is compromised, that makes no bones about its political affiliation, and therefore there is no scope for the law to take its course. A street like this that has so many cameras, you had an execution in front of Park, and suddenly the police cameras are working. Obviously, the home of the president camera is working. Evidently, it is covered up by the political institution and the Ghana police force. They have no interest in law and order. In fact, for them to survive and do the things they need lawlessness. And so lawlessness is woven into the fabric of the operation of the people in the Ghana police force.
Thank you, sir. Here we go. The opposition leader has spoken. The chairman of the party is also out here. We have Araki is out here as well. And we're going to hear from some of the protesters now We're going to come back to you, Government Chairman. We're going to hear what some of the protesters who are out here, their thoughts on these riggings by the PPP. We have Kadaki Arms. Kadaki's there as well. He's on the camera. He's doing this thing behind the scenes. But he's also going to give his word in a few.
Well, you guys are seeing everything that's happening right there. It's live. It's in front of GCOM's headquarters in Georgetown. Claudette saying the pressure is intensifying. She's quiet, as quiet as a mouse. The protest is intensifying. It's a peaceful protest. Nobody has been paid to damage these protests. Most of the guys who are usually paid to do these things, they're now in their red T-shirts and they're easily identified. So ensure then that you keep those rugged individuals out who are being paid by the PPP. So share the link, and not only that, call your friends, your relatives who are in Georgetown. Let them go out. I hope the other MPs who are not out there to head out there as well. All have to be involved. Every single one of these folks have to be involved. And this is not a talk shop. It's not just jump up and ting up. This is serious business. It is serious business. And of course, I'm hoping that this is just not a 1 hour, a 1 day something, a 1 hour, 1 day something. This got to be consistent all week, whatever it is that it takes, not just a 1 day something, all week. So let's see where it goes, but I'm smiling. Yeah, the people are listening to you guys on social media. You guys on social media, wherever you are, this is what you want. All of us are together in this. Every single one of us are together in this. No time for division. No time to say, oh, yeah, in America where y'all don't come back and then nonsense that. No time for that. No time for that. And I will be disappointed. I'm telling you guys straight up. I will be disappointed if this is just a 1 hour something, a 1 day something. I'll be very disappointed. I want to hear, and I know you guys want to hear. Let's hear what this MP has to say. This is a fighting MP, and we deserve to hear from her.
Aside from all these illegalities, all of these fraud that has popped up from the PPP side, what are your people calling for right now?
They need to throw the PPP list. Imagine the rules tells you how you should be submitted and the list having kind of like name fraud. Signature, you can see it. One person signed for the same person. Imagine in Grove constituency, you got a whole list. And the people name, again, the PM, whatever, but one person signed a speech and drew for about 6 people, one signature. Come on, we'll have the list. Now, how can it be right? That is why we've been calling all along for a clean voters list.
And biometrics.
So what you see, they don't want to give a clean voters list because they want to use the same thing. They want people to die and still you have the name on the list. Why? This system is not, we need a clean voters list. I don't see how we have a local government election with all these illegalities that pop up for people to see. It is something very serious. And guys, people need to pay attention. I want to call on people to go and check those lists. Once they forge your signature, do your letting go into GCOM and have it removed. That should not be allowed. Another thing that bothers me, senior citizens who shut in, they do thumbprint to collect the pension. But on the PPP list, these same people who thumbprint to collect the pension signed perfect signatures. What that tells you. So I'm calling on the caregivers who are looking after our seniors. You have to protect them. Once you recognize that that was done to the senior that you're looking after, please, I'm begging you, go and have the name removed. You still have a right to protect our seniors from fraud. And we say fraud is fraud. And Claudette needs to go. Jackie always talking and carrying on, and there's no and who know. Yes, but the truth is in front of you. It is there. You people are fraud. You people have submitted fraudulent lists to GCOM, and we will not stand idly by if we want the world to know what is going on in Guyana.
Thank you, MP Nima Flube. Yes.
Exactly. Fraud is fraud. Again, we're hoping that this is not just a 1 day, 1 hour something. Can now the people are energized, they're motivated, they are upset. I'm seeing some familiar faces out there. This is Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford, Miss Binda, I believe her name is. I'm seeing a couple of those familiar faces out there. Some of them have gotten old, like me, right? Some of the old-time protesters are still at it. Um, some of them are still there. So this is what we want to see in Georgetown. We also want to see the same in Linden, in New Amsterdam. Well, in New Amsterdam, we're hearing about a sub drinker that is of no value, that used to be a MP not so long ago, claimed that she has been with the PNC for 50 plus years, and now she's over with the PPP drinking soup. That person doesn't have what it takes to influence anyone in New Amsterdam, has never been able to do that, and would never be able to do that. But what Jack Dave is doing is getting these folks who are a weakling, so to speak, and then put them over in some sort of red outfit, and that's about it. Red outfit, and that's it. So that's what they do. They do that all the time, and we know the trick that Jack Dale is up to. We know his trick, and I'm proud of the folks who are out here today. People seem to be energized. We want to see the same in the other regions as well. We want to see the same in the other regions as well. I'm seeing some MPs are now coming out again. I hope this is not a 1 hour something. I hope it's not a 1 day something. It shouldn't be a 1 hour. It shouldn't be a 1 day something at all. So continue to share the link so that we can continue to spread the word. This is currently happening in front of GCOM's headquarters in Georgetown. And if some of you have relatives, or if you're listening and you can drive by, you can honk your horns, you can just stop by at the protest. I hope it's going to be on for a long time and not just an hour lunch break. A lunch break, sweep and gone until some other time. I hope that's not the case at all. So let's hear what this person, surprisingly, well, let's hear what this person has to say.
List in the local authority areas that we have now, we will see similar being committed in those local authority areas. It is enough. This is why they do not want biometrics. This is why the dead people can't vote with biometrics. You understand? But our attempt today is to ensure that we go back to the burial ground and reseal the coffins and the graves so that the dead people don't come out anymore. We have to ensure that they're dead and they're there and they can't come back to sign on a list. You understand? This is enough. I think the Guyanese people must understand, sir. They must understand that enough is enough. Your elected leaders are here to guide you. Come out and join this movement. We are not going to tolerate it. The 12th of June will come and it will be a day that we will all reckon what is happening. But we have to come out now. I think for too long, people have just taken it for granted. And for those of you who believe that 5,000 and 10,000 is okay to go sign your name, it is wrong. It is your democratic right to do what you feel like when it comes to elections. Nobody should take advantage.
Yeah, we already know all of that, but let's find a way to get the people out there. Currently, this is what's happening in front of GCOM's headquarters. All of this coming from the MPs. We should have been hearing this a while now. Call the people out, head to the streets, motivate the people. Nothing happens really in Parliament. I see Simona Brooms is out there as well. And I'm seeing some familiar faces. Is that Chris Jones is out as well? Yeah, we're seeing some members of Parliament who have been missing in action. at least publicly. We're seeing that some of these folks are out, and I like this. I like this. Maybe I should check and see how much for a ticket. I saw Ganesh Mahipal also out there. Ganesh Mahipal being the shadow minister of local government elections, should have been playing a more aggressive role on this, and has the authority to be speaking out on this as well. I saw he made a circle. Hopefully when he returns, he'll get an opportunity to say something. Amanza Walton is there now, saying something, and I hope that she takes the opportunity, since she is the shadow minister of foreign affairs, to say something about the permanent secretary. That's her portfolio in terms of as shadow minister. She has been very silent on that. Nevertheless, let's hear what she has to say about this.
Know that an apology for fraud is not enough. They had a lot to say when they thought that members were involved in electoral illegality. They dragged them before the court. They're still before the court today. The cases have not commenced because they have no evidence. But here you have evidence and an apology, which is tantamount to an admission of guilt. And Jack Dios sits comfortably in office. That must not be the case. There is clear case of fraud, and fraud is fraud. It is a case where his friends get all of his support, and those who don't support him get the full brunt of the law. It is time Jack Dios gets the full brunt of the law. I think they just did disrespect to the intelligence of the people of Guyana.
Definitely, those are things that we already know. These are things that the people have been saying for a while, and we are glad that they are finally, some of these MPs finally understand what it would take to get the PPP to listen, what it would take to get Claudette Singh to listen. And so, Raul Chalmers, the opposition believes in protest now. Again, I hope that, we finish with the long talking and the emotional sentiments. The people have long gone past that. The people want action in the streets now, not emotions and song bites for the cameras. They just are tired of the song bites for the cameras. We want to hear the chants from the people. We want that. I think that is what is going to motivate people, and that's it. We see some trench crappos coming up. One of the trench crappos said, "Pen Shop is a fraud." I bet he must be talking about Irfan Ali and these guys. The trench crappos are, they're psychos. They're upset. They are vexed when they see this, because they know exactly what this is going to lead to as it pertains to exposing the corrupt PPP regime. So this is what this is about. Let us hear the chanting from the people. Not much song bites, too much song bites from some of these MPs, too much song bites. Again, we're going to see, we're going to see where this is going to lead to. Again, I hope it's not a 1 hour or something. Let's hear the people. I like hearing the people, and those also who make sense. I like hearing that. Those who can motivate people to hit the streets. Let's see what's going on here now.
Fair elections in Guyana, and demand that this local government election, with all the fraud uncovered, put on hold. Look at it.
If I were there as a cameraman, then I would have gone straight through to the guy in the middle that is beating the guy. Gotta hear the drum. I think that's what drives them here. forget vote. You can also protest on social media as well. Protest as well. Share the link. Protest. Comment. Send the link to Jack Leo. Send the link to Jack Leo's page. Send it to Pierre Finale's page. Send it around. Let them see. Glad those who feel that.
I have Kidaki Amsterdam
Those
right
who
here,
feel-
right now. Kidaki, talk to us. I mean, you've been on campaign on village by village, public meeting, making the case for a clean voters list, making the case against the fraud that is taking place. Your thoughts on these things that are taking place. Your thoughts right now upon what is uncovered with this big fraud with the voters list, fraud with the GCOM elections, chairman fraud, not taking up our stance and giving a better decision in the GCOM. Your thoughts?
The reality is, Andrew, you know that since 2020 I've been calling for action against these things because I spent time in the stations and I witnessed for myself firsthand what were the elements of fraud. We found people who were living overseas voting, we found dead people voting, we found imposter voting, we found people voting in polling stations where they did not belong.
You know, the thing is, this was at the convention center, and Kadaki is correct. There are deaf people, all manner of things that we saw happening, and this should have been, it's never too late though, because these are the things that we saw that came out of the recon process. All of these things were there. And the PPP is in office under questionable circumstances, rigged elections. And that's a fact. They have been there. The opposition should have been far more aggressive with the chairman of the Ghana Elections Commission. Far more aggressive. They've been silent for too long. When Aubrey got in there, Aubrey said, Claudette must go. It's almost over a year and a half, 2 years now. Claudette is still there. Not much aggression as it pertains to Claudette. And here is where we are with a reactionary move. Now, a reactionary move when things should have been put in place to safeguard all of this. But again, it's never too late, right? It's never too late. So what is happening here now is a protest in front of GCOM's headquarters. It is in Georgetown. It's on High Street. If you're in Georgetown and you jump in a minibus, just head over there. If you're driving, head over there. Just go on there and lend your support. Too much talking. It's done now. Time for action. Again, I hope this is not going to be just a 1 hour something or a 2 hour something and then back to square one. Have us on social media. Have us on these programs doing the fighting. These guys got to do the fighting on the ground and not just talk for the cameras and then they disappear. Walk with the people, talk with the people, hold a placard with the people. That's exactly what they have to do. Not just stand in a corner after you done get your little soundbite from the media and you gone in a corner and stand up. Walk with the people, pick up a placard. I want to see the MPs with placards as well. That is what I want to do. That we want to see. We want to see more of the MPs out there. The gato is if anybody see Gita out there, let me know. Anybody see Gita out there, let me know. Not just Gita, but the others. I want to see them. Where are they? It's time that we see them. So we'll see what's happening here now. Kadaki had his say. Aubrey Norton is out there as well. We need to see the truth. We need to see all of them out there. Every single one of them. And again, I repeat, this should not be a skin teeth session. This should not be a, what is it? This should not be, it's not a skin teeth session. This should not be a 1 day or a 1 hour session. Let's head back and hear what's happening there now. There we go. From
We are workmanship.
You know what it's saying there, right?
We are workmanship. We are workmanship. We are workmanship. We
We don't walk punch.
We are walk punching. We are walk punching. We are walk punching.
Those of you who don't know, these is the regular chant. We are walk punching. We are walk punching. We are walk punching. We are walk punching. Walk punching. Walk punching. Walk punching. None of y'all want to go now, right? The walking start. The walking start. Walk punch. Walk punch. Walk punch. Now we could get a nice set of yellow fine planting. Come on, you guys ready? Punch. Walk punch. Walk punch. Walk punch. Walk punch. Walk punch. It's one of your rally or whatever. What you don't want to talk about it? Please, why you don't come to them and just come want to talk about it? You know, always this nonsense, but you got to come to Diana. You got to come to Diana. Don't just come in, don't just probably from the done stop. You know, when I was there, what were you guys doing? These people and these done stop kind of coming, but why you don't come to Diana? Get out of here. I'm sure it's one of those 5,000 on the box of food hustler, flat food hustler. Oh, yeah, but come. Why you don't come? Anyway, Jack Hill, walk punch. Jack Hill, walk punch. Walk punch. Walk punch. up, right? Let's see what's going to happen. 1 hour, lunch break, and that's it. Then please don't talk and run up in the car and all. Aaliyah is saying that she's calling on Simona Blooms to join the protest. Aaliyah, Simona Blooms is out there at the protest. She's there. Just start for the camera and some of them. Some of the usual talking camera suspects. A couple of pictures and they're done. No one is someone on the table.
Forgery is forgery and no apology. 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 No apology. Forgery is
I
forgery.
know you guys can hear me on auto. I know. I'm not too low, but I'm talking directly to you guys.
No apology.
You know when we talk, we don't hide and talk or lower stuff to be muzzled. Some of them can just talk and down.
Well, that's what's happening out here.
Right, Otto?
We are coming to you live from GCOM, and we have the crowd has increased tremendously,
I'm talking,
and
I'm not on the phone.
we
I'm talking.
are calling on you if you're here in the city of Georgetown and you want to be a part of the protest. Come.
Yep, I agree with Weeks was talking there. You want to be part of the protest? Go down there. Otto, Martin, do a live.
You can come. You can come and be a part of the protest.
Calling your people to go out there. But I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. I'm looking for MPs now.
We have attorney at law, Darren Wade. Darren, talk to us.
Well, what we have done, we have called the PPP. We have known that PPP has been going to the graveyards over the years, resurrecting people to vote. But now we have evidence. We have persons calling from the state saying that they are nothing kind of what their name is doing on the PPP nomination list. We have persons that are complaining that their dead parents, their dead relatives are on the PPP nomination list. We want the world and all on country to see what is going on here in Guyana. This is thieving on our face. In addition to this, we must not forget what transpired in Letem, because all elections must be fair. They broke into our office twice, and so forth. So these elections here are unfair, but we are working with what we have. And it's for us to highlight, and it's for everyone to play a part in this fight, in this struggle, to see what is going on here in Guyana. Fraud is fraud. Forgery is forgery. No apology.
Thank you, sir. That is Darren Wade, attorney at law for the APNU. Well, yes, we have Councillor, and he's going back again for Sophia. Talk to us, Councillor Hines.
I just want to make the
good point. Darren Wade, good point. There's a guy who was a councillor there, probably going back for councillor. You want to say something? See the camera, you want to say something? Let's hear what you have to say, since you want to say something.
How is it that the local government commission can sit down there and allow this criminal act that was done by the PPP to go unchallenged? These people need to be put in the prison for what they have done, forging people's signature. It is unthinkable. Up to now, they can't get clearance to publish their list because of this. You've got a president, a vice president, second vice president, who seems to lack any semblance of respect for Guyanese, that he believes everybody's stupid, that he can go and say these things, just believe an apology for such a criminal act is accepted. But I'm going to tell my people in Constituency 5 the kind of people that they be, and I want to make sure that the people come out and vote resoundingly on June 12th.
All right. We're waiting for the drumming to restart again. Too much long talking. This is a guy who is a councillor there in Georgetown. He asked the cameraman to say something, and I think he done say something. And we have another individual there, whoever he is. Looks like a protester, but let's hear what this individual has to say, whoever he is.
14, which is South Convent Park, South Convent Gardens, Roxanne, Bornum, Rasville, till to contain the city.
person, of course, who live in that area would know exactly different polling places like South Primary, South Secondary, different homes. We out here, of course, in protesting against fraud. This local government elections is as an upcoming, I would say, I'm new to this process and first time I'm running for local government elections for Georgetown. And I believe that, it's very disheartening to see what the people on the candidates on the PvP side would have done, trying to forge people's signatures. I think it's very not only unprofessional, but it's wicked, and it should be called out, be criminally dealt with. The law is very clear. I'm not no lawyer, but I believe according to Summary Jurisdiction Offences Act 106, Section 106B, speaks basically about once you forge somebody's signature, once you write on somebody's behalf without the authority,
an act of fraud
shall be put on criminal charges. And I believe that the Vice President, also the General Secretary of the PvP, who would have tried to apologize to a young lady whose mother would have passed, and her name, her signature was placed on one of the candidates' form. I believe that more than an apology should be done, but also he should call out his own candidates. He should call them out. He should also say that no criminal charges should be placed. So I believe this protest is very necessary. People have to also understand that we out here are not going to take such fraudulent acts of the PvP, which is something that's known by the PvP. They always come out here and they always try to. This is something we've been talking about over and over and over. Gladly that the evidence are coming to forefront, so people are seeing the wickedness and deceitfulness of this political party. And that is basically what I have to say when it comes to this.
Candidate Phillips, come on up. Let us know which constituency you're running for and what's happening in your area with the fraud.
Definitely. So my name is Philip Drayton, and I'm the candidate for constituency 1, which is Tiger Bay, Kingston, which is around this area here too, as well, Queenstown, Alberton. And definitely any fraudulent activities as it relates to the electoral process definitely is criminal in nature. It is something we need to take serious look at, and what we're seeing throughout the country is a lot of fraudulent activities under the umbrellas of the People Progressive Party, and all it seems like the members of society are put for is an apology from high-ranking members within the People Progressive Party, which is something that we cannot stand. We need to protect constitutions of this country, and of course on the local government elections concept for the locals, we need to see how best we could put certain systems in place to ensure that we have a smooth flow, a smooth running of these elections, so that we in various constituencies could come at some type of equilibrium so that we could actually represent the people appropriately. So what we're actually looking to do here is to actually shed some light, as it relates to consciousness, and let persons know that there's a lot of fraudulent activities that is happening under the umbrellas of the People Progressive Party, and members of society will not stand for it.
Right, thank you. Who's the councillor? Come, councillor, come. You the councillor. You're the candidate, and you the councillor. You the outgoing councillor. He's the incoming councillor. All right, you stay next to him because you have to coach him. Tell us exactly which constituency you're running for and where, and what are some of the problems you're having there.
Hi, my name is Travis Ellis, and I'm running for constituency 10, that is based in Charleston or Bystone. In my constituency, first of all, I must say, fraud is fraud, because if it was the APNU, we done something like that, you would have heard them already. We want to rob a whole team, a whole country. But these people like Sierra Lynch and these people, they're not seeing what the PPP is doing. They is the one that rigged the election. Look at 2020. This is evidence that they rigged the election in 2020, and they're coming again for local government. But local government, the PPP does not like local government. So don't let them fool us and tell them what they're concerned about us with local government. Constituency 10 would not support the PPP. So Malcolm Ferrero and his son, they could do all what they want to run. We would not sell out. Constituency 10 would not sell out to the PPP. That's all I would say for now. The councillor, Mr. Eston Basler.
Well, Eston, I know you're an old man in this thing. You've been over a decade.
Yeah, we definitely gotta hear the people. I think he spoke with this guy already. The people are standing around, and we want to hear from those people who are chanting, those ordinary folks, right, Otto? Those small men, small women who are out there. We need to hear from them. We need to hear how they are affected, how they are feeling right now. That young man that is a candidate for constituency 10, which is the Charlestown, Alboystown area. Those of you who are from there, if you're still there, remember that the PPP cannot and should not be allowed to take control of Alboystown, Charlestown area. A soup drinker out from New Amsterdam who claims that they spent 50 years with the PNC has decided now to hog up and kiss up with the enemy, and saying that over those years, over the past couple of years, she has not seen any development in New Amsterdam. But I wish to remind soup drinker Barbara, that and this is the soup drinker that is ungrateful to a party for 50 years that took care of her. Well, I don't know, didn't do much justice based on how we see that she's probably presenting herself. She After Charan Das was he did his skullduggery and he voted against the party that made him somebody. Charan Das was picked out of the gutter and made into someone after he voted against the coalition. This was the woman who replaced him. And today, she has become just like a Charan Das, or probably worse than a Charan Das. Betrayed her own party, betrayed her own supporters, or the supporters of the party, because she basically has no support base. She has no, she has no group that she can encourage people for anything other than to hop over to the PPP to drink soup, spoiled soup, sour soup, not sour sop, sour soup. And this is exactly what's happening. So take a good look. Remember, for a couple of weeks we were showing you this soup drinker. Well, this soup drinker has gone right into the pot, the soup kitchen of Jack Deere, the soup kitchen, the soup kitchen. She's from Tuckburg. People who know her in New Amsterdam would say that she has done nothing. And just to imagine, the PNC must have been desperate for mayor. She was once the mayor of New Amsterdam, and she's talking about the tongue has not developed. Well, shame on you if you were mayor and the tongue hasn't developed. What about the 20-something years that the PPP were in office? What do you think happened? They didn't develop that tongue. They didn't want that tongue to be developed. So what makes you think that they want it to be developed now? What makes you think so? Just a bunch of flatfoot, shameless hustlers. That's what they are. Flatfoot, shameless hustlers. Nothing more than that. Absolutely nothing more than a flatfoot, shameless hustler. This person cannot influence anybody. This person cannot have anybody go over and vote other than some small fish who probably wouldn't even listen to her anyway. This is about self. This is about greed. This is about all manner of things. It is what it is. And so the people of New Amsterdam, wake up. You're seeing for yourselves. Wake up. These snakes are now crawling out their holes. Worse than a Charan Das. She was replaced by Charan Das, and now look, she followed Charan Das. So y'all don't worry. She can drink she soup until the soup gives she belly walk. She can get all sorts of things, and she can cry and complain. So that's just the latest with this lady decided that she finally officially gone in bed and wrap up with the demonic forces. And now some of you might want to find out what's going on with this one here now. This one here. Well, just so you can say you heard it here first, right? Just so you can say you heard it here first, right here, that you heard it here first, that this woman here, the permanent secretary, who should have been out of her position by now, she should have been recalled or resigned, by now. I'm hearing that herself, and another individual, or two other individuals. They were on their way to China. A guy by the name of Ali, Dimitri Ali, and another guy by the name of Mahathir. Those are the names. I've shown you guys the photographs as well. And I want her, she should be able to answer this question, whether she was questioned or whether on her immigration form, the ED form, whether she declared the amount of money she was carrying. And if the amount of money that she was actually, or she had on her, exceeded that limit, whether she went above that limit, and how much is it that she was carrying, and whether any money was confiscated as well. Because if you don't make a declaration, if you, for example, have 5,000 US dollars, I'm sorry, if you're carrying 50 or 150 or 200,000 dollars on you, US dollars that is, 200,000 US dollars, and you only declare 5,000, then what about the other 195? You got it, or whatever the amount, you got to be able to declare it. If you don't declare it, it is a crime. And now my question is, and it's up to her to answer, whether she declared the correct amount of money she was carrying at that time, and whether she was carrying in excess of 150, 200,000 US dollars. I don't know. These are just questions that she needs to answer. And whether any money apart from her phone was confiscated. And if so, how much money the US authority took from her. She needs to find out whether it was over that limit, 99 or 9,999, 10,000, not more than that. And so if she was carrying 150, 200,000, 300,000, whatever, and didn't declare it, she needs to let us know whether any money or monies were actually involved. Also, the other two guys, Dimitri Ali and Mahathir, should also be asking that particular question. They should be answering that question. And so again, this particular situation here is very, very troubling. And Otto, you are correct where she got it from, assuming that that's the case. We're not saying that she was caught with 100,000 or 200,000 that she didn't declare. We're not saying that. But according to my source, money may have been another factor in this investigation. And if that is the case, then the permanent secretary should let us know that, yes, they took her money away, or how much money was she carrying. And the other thing we're hearing is that she was on her way to take care of matters of concern to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Then we need to know specifically what matter. You can't say it's a matter of national security. What was she going to China with? She was on her way there allegedly with two other persons, thus far, two other persons, a Mahathir, who is linked to a ministry out there in Guyana, and the other one is one of the directors, I believe, at Drainage and Irrigation. And so those two persons are not linked to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Why were they on that flight with her? And specifically, since Ben is now saying that she was an official business for the ministry, what official business? What exactly? Where in China was she going? And what sort of business meeting and these sort of things? These are things that we need to hear. These are things that we need to know. She is a public servant. We are the ones, taxpayers are paying her salary. And as much, I'm sure she probably have friends in other places where God in heaven knows whether her friends are taking care of her as well. We don't know. Again, I'm just saying we don't know because we see that she's very close to this guy, Azruddin Mohammed. They all out having fun and through her ministry, of which she is the permanent secretary, she has to ensure then that companies, when they bid, the bid is awarded to those companies. And we have seen that Mohammed's company they have received close to $2 billion worth in contract, $2 billion worth in contract. And through the Ministry of Home Affairs, gun licenses and so forth are handed out to individuals. And so there should be an investigations to see what has she authorized for Azruddin Mohammed. And we're hearing that AK-47 gun licenses for AK-47 and all these manner of things. This person with a gun there happens to be the partner or whether husband or whatever, or child father of the permanent secretary. Lots and lots of questions. The other thing that we know for a fact that's happening is that ExxonMobil should revisit their business deals with the Mohammeds. They are, I'm told, could be in the process of doing that. The Exxon and other American companies are not comfortable, period. They're not comfortable doing business with the Mohammeds at this time. And the Mohammeds, as you know, Azruddin Mohammed is a suspect. We haven't heard anything about him turning himself into the police or whatever, but he's a suspect in the murder of Fagundes. He still remains a suspect. So people are talking there at the protest. Let's hear what they have to say, please.
Consistency. And I choose to run as a PR candidate because I think I'm eligible.
All right, whatever has happened there with that video, that person is a PR candidate. Yep, that person is a PR candidate. And let us get back to one of the suspects. Happens to be this person is set to be a security guard for Azruddin Mohammed, and he also is a suspect in the murder of Fagundes. And as you know, the evidence, we're told, some of the evidence on this body shop somewhere in West Rumveld. The body shop guy cleared up all of the areas. A lot of cars end up in this particular area. I don't know whether to just do body work or whatever else to do. I don't know. But this is a company out in West that that is set to be connected to Azruddin Mohammed in whatever way, I don't know. But in terms of this here, James Bond thought he was brave enough to call me to ask that I stop talk about this guy, because this guy that owns this shop, some Singer Posada, whatever his name is, that he's a coalition member and he gives money to the party, as though that has an effect on what I have to talk about this particular case. And so since then, I haven't heard from James Bond, who tried a thing so that I can stop talking about this businessman who happens to be his friend and who he tried to say to me, of all person, he can probably carry them swore that to other people. He probably may be able to swore Rickford Burke, but he can't come to me with that kind of swearing stuff. Anyways, we seem to have lost connection with the protest on the ground. And so Azruddin Mohammed needs to answer some questions. He needs to turn himself into the police and let them question and grill him whether he was involved in this murder or not. But what we do know is that back to the permanent secretary, a friend of Azruddin Mohammed, we do know that the Ministry of Home Affairs, they have these phones that you can access the CCTV cameras. You're hearing reports that the permanent secretary's husband or boyfriend or whoever he is to her, that he allegedly has access to one of these devices, or maybe two, and that he may have or she may have ensured that that Azruddin got possession of that, allegedly, mind you. So they got to come out to say whether Azruddin, through the ministry, through the ministry of Home Affairs, have access to this equipment. And once you have access to this equipment, it simply means that persons can see what is happening with the CCTV camera. They can see who's driving where, who went in where, who is hanging out where, who's about to leave where. And if persons of questionable character, they have access to these sort of things, anything can happen. People can just move in and finish off somebody because they can see everything in real time right there through the CCTV cameras. And once you have one of these handheld phones, it gives you access to these sort of things. And so that's a national security risk, and we're hoping that the opposition would be able to come out and be forceful in terms of demanding transparency in these investigations, or to have a full-fledged independent investigations. Thus far, a lot of folks in the opposition are quiet about this issue. Mr. Aubrey Norton, the opposition leader, made a quick mention in passing, and that's it. But the more detailed statement came from Roysdale Ford in an article which was written and a comment by the folks at Village Voice. So you can go there and find out what's happening. But if you are watching right now and you're looking at these two devices, or one device, it's a device where a handheld phone that you can have access to where all of the CCTV cameras are located. And the CCTV cameras, by the way, was installed by the Chinese. And it is alleged that every single thing that happens, the Chinese picks it up. And China has become like a big spy network where people who are not Guyanese, especially out somewhere in Beijing or wherever they're sitting, can spy and know exactly what is going on with you on the ground. And allegations are that one of the phones that would have access to the CCTV cameras was in the hands or was given to the partner of the permanent secretary. Mind you, again, just for clarification, all allegations, mind you, she needs to clear that up. We are saying it is being alleged, mind you. We're not saying that she's guilty. We're not saying that she took the phone and give it to her guy. We're not saying that. We're not saying that the guy, after having the phone, took it and give it to the Mohammeds. We're not saying that. We're just asking questions whether her guy has access to this phone and whether Mohammed has access to this phone device, where you can basically say, for example, I want to see what's going on in the Palm Court right now, and that entire Palm Court vicinity. So I'll pull into the Palm Court section. You can see who's going into Palm Court. You could see who's coming out of Palm Court. You could see what car just pulled up there. You could see who's about to head into that car or whatever. And I'm just using Palm Court as an example. So you could basically see almost anything. And you can do almost anything with when you see these things. You could plan things ahead. Say, for example, you want to know if, let's say, Aubrey Norton is going to Bamba Mali now. I'm just giving that as an example. Nothing is wrong with Bamba Mali. I've gone there on a few occasions, and I kind of like the hang there, just the hang, nothing else. And so you could able to zoom in on the cameras to see, oh shucks, look, Aubrey Norton, the leader of the opposition, just came out of going into Bamba Mali. Look, he's walking. He's on Regent Street right now. He's walking into Orange Walk. Look, he's walking. He stopped at the first stall. He's saying hi. And then he went down into that little passageway. He's talking to the Rasta lady that owns that area there, right obliquely opposite the post office. Then, look, he's coming back out. He's going by the girl that fry fish right over there. He's talking to them. He just gives somebody a hug there. So the point is, you're able to see all of these things. And if these things are in the hands of questionable persons, well, something is wrong. Something is fishy. And so these are questions that she needs to answer. Again, these are questions that she needs to answer. Her boss, Robeson Ben, who has been dodging serious questions. One of the serious questions he's been dodging is whether his visa, U.S. visa was actually revoked or not. And so you can go, let's say, again, wherever the cameras are, if you want to find out what Otto Martin is doing. And Otto Martin put on his clothes and he's walking around Georgetown. You could zoom in, you could see everything. And if you want to make Otto a target, you could zoom in and then you could do anything. That is how serious this is. If you want to know, what these guys are up to, the CCTV camera does just that with that phone, and the phone cannot be in people who will breach national security. And if in fact the permanent secretary has done that, if in fact the permanent secretary has done that, well, then there needs to be an investigation. There needs to be an investigation. Also, well, we're hearing that she was placed on a watch list, which is not surprising at all, at least, that she was placed on a watch list. And some might be speculating, there might be, concerns as to why would a permanent secretary be placed on a watch list? Why would a permanent secretary be placed on a U.S. watch list? Why? Well, I can come up with a few things as to why. It could be by virtue of her association, because if you're associated with people and you're closely associated with people who are on a watch list, and people who are on a watch list are bigging you up, saying that you're practically the best, and they see that closeness and they see that your husband or your child father association with individuals who are on a watch list as well. What do you think? Everybody will be on a watch list. So I'm saying this to some of you who are in Guyana, who love to associate and who don't give a damn and say, but you got to eat. You got to be careful with who you're associating with, because it can very well come back to haunt you. And this is what is happening to the permanent secretary, her association. And it could be other stuff. It could be things that they already found. And when they, mind you, when they pulled her in for fitness, at the airport, it is not like they were on any sort of fishing expedition. They were not on a fishing expedition. They already knew what they were up to. They already knew their target. They already knew what they were looking for. And so when they got that cell phone, as they approached her, when she got off in transit, as they approached her, she allegedly didn't want to give her phone up and started to whatever. And so the allegations that she was harassed and these sort of things, physically harassed, don't buy into that. Nobody's going to feel sorry for her. At least I'm not buying into that. And at least I am not feeling sorry for her at all, period. And not. Now, when you allegedly put a country at risk and these sort of things, no, I'm not going to fall for that. Let her friends, Azruddin Mohammed and company and those type of people, if you know what I mean, those type of people who oftentimes jump up and cry and, oh, yeah, people jealous of them, people have, give me a goddamn break, right? Give me a break. Let's hope that this cop is safe, because we heard, according to a source, that Detective Sergeant Bascom is being threatened. His life is in danger, and you don't want anybody, because when their backs against the wall, or anybody back is against the wall, they do anything. Some folks whose backs are against the wall, let us hope they do not do anything to this cop, because they're just going to make things far worse for them, and not even a lobbying firm could do anything to save them. Well, we know people, they're hiring lobbyists now in Guyana, and not even lobbyists can save them, because the lobbyists just do a thing, collect your money, and you go anyway, and that's about it. All right. So, anyways, anything else you guys want us to talk about quickly before we go? The forging of all those names and the fraudulent PPP, the corrupt PPP. Jack Dale is notably quiet, right? Noticeably quiet. He is. Irfan Ali missing in action. You know why? Because they have nothing to say, absolutely nothing to say, because they are all guilty of the fraud that we're seeing, the fraud that we're hearing, the massive fraud throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, massive fraud. That's just what it is. And it's something that they can't run away from. All right, so we've got to go. We've got to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back later on. The protests, whatever happened to it, it's done, because we're not seeing anything else for now. But I'll be back later this evening. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. Fraud is fraud. Remember, fraud is fraud. See you guys later on. God bless.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. You understand? PPP all the way. Yeah, one Guyana. Yes.
Holding the fort for Monday morning.
In any weather, rain, sun,
we are
in
here.
the night. We there right here. We ain't going nowhere. We holding it. Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. You understand? PPP all the way. Yeah, one Guyana. Yes.
Guyana really nice. Guyana, it's a nice place.
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. You understand? PPP all the way. Yeah, one Guyana.
Source. Maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you, or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jerome?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. You understand? PPP all the way. Yeah, one Guyana. Yes.
Holding the fort for Monday morning.
In any weather, rain, sun,
we are
in
here.
the night. We there right here. We ain't going nowhere. We holding it for PPP.
Right.
PPP all the way. Yeah, we definitely strong ship. Yes. Yeah. PPP all the way. Yes.
Big us up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. You understand? PPP all the way. Yeah, one Guyana. Yes.
Holding the fort for Monday morning.
In any weather, rain, sun,
we are
in the
here.
night. We there right here. We ain't going nowhere. We holding it.
What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom.
Yeah, this is the root team.
Strong team. Number one.
PPP team.
Yeah.
You understand? PPP all the way.
Yeah, one Guyana.
Yes.
Holding the fort for Monday morning.
In any weather, rain, sun,
we are
in
here.
the night. We there right here. We ain't going nowhere. We holding it for PPP.
Right.
PPP all the way.
Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Mary? What you man, Mary? Bobby, you man. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, the bathroom. What you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, what you
the root team.
Strong team. Number one.
PPP team.
Yeah.
You understand? PPP all the way.
Yeah, one Guyana.
Yes.
Holding the fort for Monday morning.
In any weather, rain, sun,
we are
in
here.
the night.
Man, the bathroom.
We ain't going nowhere.
Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, the bathroom. What you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby. What you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, what you man, the bathroom. What you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, the bathroom. What you man, what you man, what you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man, the bathroom. What you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. Bobby, you man, the bathroom. What you man,
What happens when the